Hello and welcome to episode 20 of the MTGConflux Cast. My name is Steven. I'm joined by my co-hosts John.
Hey.
Chris.
Hey.
Zach.
Hi.
And today's episode is a little different because we're all in the same room and
You mean we're not always in the same room together?
right?
We're
not even always on the same coast.
Yeah, exactly. But today we will be talking about the ban restricted update and talking about GP Toronto.
But not very much of that.
Not very much of that, but we'll mention it. It's fine. But let's get things started with our weekly roundup, where we talk about what weeks we piloted.
We piloted quite a few weeks.
Yeah, we piloted quite a few weeks. Where we talk about what decks we piloted and what decks we saw throughout the week. Let's start with you, Chris.
I'm not Chris.
You're not Chris. Let's start with you. Chris. I was gonna go in a circle. And
You're really not adapting to this.
I'm not a camera person.
Oh god. Okay. So I played we call it like John and our baby.
Yeah.
So we've been kind of brewing up this pile of a deck the past few weeks, testing exclusively on the old cockatrice to try and get an idea of what we should be changing whenever.
We should just name it the sound that people make when they walk up and see the deck. It's kind of like a...
So it's kind of like Naya. Basically, it's a Blood Sun deck, and we're trying to. I mean, if you shut off your opponent's fetch lands, then that's cool. But I'm really trying to break the crew lands, try and make soul lands. Like, Eldrazi Temple, you get to play 4 soul lands. Why stop at 4? We're playing 8, and it's sweet when it works.
Yeah, just like you break parity on mana like really quickly. You go from being like equal to a little bit behind on mana to all of a sudden I was watching your games against the control deck and you went from being on like 3-4 mana to all of a sudden you just had like 10-12 mana and your opponent's like trying to like hold up cryptic commanding.
So there's times where I'm baiting counterspells with like 3/3 ballistas.
Yeah.
Like 6 mana. This is my bait spell. I have more mana for my real spell that I want to resolve.
So tell me how do you win with all this mana? Is it just Walking Ballista?
So we're playing a lot of Planeswalkers. And by a lot I mean 5.
It's a lot.
Just 5.
For Planeswalkers that aren't named Liliana of the Veil, that's a lot.
And there are 2 or 4 mana, one's 5 mana, or 2 or 5 mana, one is 6. The old 4/5/6 Planeswalker curve. So our 2 4-mana walkers are Chandra, Torch of Defiance. This card's insane.
It's so good.
It's so good. Like, I think typically whenever you play Chandra Torch, you almost never make mana with the thing. The card's almost always better. Not here.
No.
You make mana probably half of the time. Because it's like an extra counter on a Ballista, or it's equipping your Basilisk color, or it's half of, another 4-mana spell. I mean, typically, because Blood Sun cantrips, and we're playing Explorers, but also cantrip, in most ramp decks, you play your ramp spells and you run out of gas, kind of, and so you have like one big dumb threat to deploy. Well, since we're cantripping, we usually have more than one threat laying around in our hands, so the mana just lets us deploy the rest of our hand.
Yeah, you go from like 0 to 60 really fast. You're just like doing nothing, and then you're doing everything.
Yeah, so I was able to go 1-3-5. So turn 1 bird, turn 2 sun, turn 3 I have 5 mana. So like turn 3, this is Vital Force, who's our 5-mana walker. Make a 5/5. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these aggro decks are just like, oh,
yeah,
that's a 5/5. I guess I'll pass. Like, cool. 4/4 Ballista. Yeah. Like,
all your shit's
like
dead.
What or like untap Batter Skull. Make a 5/5. Yeah, it just like turns the corner really hard on these like little creature decks. Yeah. I did get spanked quite badly one round. I played against the Madcap Empyrean deck.
He spanked me too.
Which is strange because I played the deck a long time ago, and I left the deck because it felt like an egregious pile.
What colors was that one?
It's just blue-red. It's kind of a blue moon deck with the Madcap into Empyrean Wombo combo. Turns out our deck full of 4 mana, 4 damage removal spells with our Chandra minus and our Glorybringer or whatever can't deal with an 8/8.
Yeah.
Unless you do it together.
Yeah, you have to like Chandra into glory.
You really need Basilisk. Well, is it indestructible?
No.
Oh, it's an 8/8. Yeah, so you need the Basilisk collar to really like connect.
Yeah, so I had one turn to find my collar and I didn't get there because I had my ballista just shoot him down.
Yeah.
But
And the deck, like you were saying, is like super soft to remand.
yeah, because you're playing all these 4 and 5 mana spells.
Yeah.
Like, remand is super brutal.
Yeah.
But I guess it was mana leak, but no, actually not really. Like you can wait out a mana leak generally.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you run into the first one and you're just like, all right, I'm just gonna wait till I have 3 mana back up.
Yeah. So I played against Jessica Nahiri, and I think I punted game 1. My opponent resolved 4 Ancestral Visions, and I feel like I punted the game.
You did. I watched the video and I was like, wow, Chris should have won that, even though his opponent had literally his whole like.
Yeah, I felt I felt really bad about it. So what happened was I had a Nissa Vital Force and a Chandra Torch of Defiance in my hand, and I'm like, opponent 1000% has Cryptic Command in his hand.
He's like 5 mana.
With this 4 mana, these refuse to tap ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, which of these walkers would I rather have resolved? A Nissa or a Chandra? I was like,
You had like 50 mana.
It's like probably Chandra, right? Because like, how is Jessica Nahiri killing my Chandra? And I just make an emblem and play Explorers and murder them, right? Because like from the standard, right, Team Energy or whatever, like playing the control decks, like Approach or something, they just make a Chandra. They just play a Chandra and like shit.
Yeah.
I'm done.
How beat? Yeah. Like,
And most decks play Cast Out. Like, is Jessica Nahiri playing anything? No.
Yeah. No
So
Oberyn's here.
I play my Nissa. He snaps off the Cryptic Command as predicted. Like, play my Chandra. And I immediately realized that I should have played my Chandra first. Because I had enough mana to play my Chandra, let it get countered, play my Nissa, -2 my Nissa, and then get back my Chandra and replay the Chandra.
Yeah.
And then I just would have had both.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Because then he like found a bunch of bolts and snapcasters to keep the Chandra down, and if I had a 5/5 machine, maybe things would have been different. But
Yeah, that's a lot of mana. That's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I don't typically have, you know what? How much is that? 5 plus 8? 13. Yeah, I don't generally have 13 mana.
You had
laying
mana to
around.
spare, I think, too, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. It was like.
The only time I have that much mana is when I'm playing Amulet. But 13 mana is typically either just barely enough or one shy of what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I never feel like I have this super surplus of mana like I did that game. So I wasn't really thinking about,
Yeah.
my Nissa can just rebuy my Chandra.
And that's why our threats are mostly like in the 4/5 range, because you're not usually sitting on like this huge pile of mana.
So what are the threats? So the 2 planeswalkers.
So we got the 3 planeswalkers.
3
The third
planeswalkers.
planeswalker.
Oh, the third Planeswalker. Yeah,
is-
we haven't talked about that.
is sweet, and I wish we could play more. Maybe we should play a second.
So we're playing just one copy of Chandra Flamecaller, I believe. The 6 mana one from Oath.
Yeah.
So it comes in
So
with 4 loyalty, I believe. You +1, you make 2/3
Oh
ones with
my
haste,
God.
or you
It
0 to wheel, or you
assassinates planeswalkers.
Yeah, so opponent like taps out for just Nahiri, like turn 4 Nahiri, plus up to 6, deal. I'm like, Chandra, kill it. He lost that game.
Yeah.
What's in white you're playing? What's in white that you're playing?
It's all sideboard
A
cards.
little bit of
Well,
it's like 3
you should
cards.
just play Jace.
We're playing Rest in Peace. We're playing Kitchen Finks in the main. Technically a white card.
Yeah.
And we're playing Timely Reinforcements.
Yeah.
And Blessed Alliance to help
Blessed
the because I think the go wide, like really low to the ground aggro decks are kind of rough.
We had a really hard time finding cards we wanted in the deck that met the following criteria. Were not red or green, and did not have double non-red or green in their casting cost. There's lots of sweet white cards.
They're all double white.
A lot of sweet blue cards, a few sweet black cards. They're all double. And the mana base doesn't really support that very well. And so we were like, what do we want to, like, it's free at that point.
So,
like you're playing
so we're
these
playing
crews.
8 bounce lands.
So
and
it's
there's
the
only
splash is
4,
free.
Yeah, there's only 4 green-red ones. So there's a third color there somewhere that we have to play anyway.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out what the right color to play. We started off on blue. We're like, oh, we're gonna play blue. I don't know.
Stubborn
we'll play like
Denial.
the Stubborn Denial, I guess,
Well, now you have no reason.
because it protects
It's
like
double blue.
You know, Stubborn Denial protects
I think
our.
that'll be a
It's worth it.
I think if we do that, we cut the Sakura Tribe Scouts, and you have
So-
to play Noble Hierarch to get that extra blue in the
Yeah,
deck.
yeah.
So what's the creature package?
So we have the full 4 walking ballistas. So Walking Ballista is a card that I showed my friend the deck list. He's like, "Is Walking Ballista a real card?"
It's like a bug card. It's the deck. It's like the heart and
Granted, he
soul.
doesn't play a lot of Modern, so he hasn't seen the card being played. But when I first saw Ballista's Flood, I kind of had the same feeling. I was like, "Is this card like how good is this card really?" Like, it seems expensive. But the thing is that
It creeps into your curve.
yeah, it just fills out your card whenever you need it to be. And it's a mana sink, and when all your lands tap for 2 and you have nothing better to do, might as well pump it into a Ballista. Although I found that I didn't usually have a lot of extra mana laying around.
Yeah, you had like little spots here and there where you just kind of snuck a counter on it. Excuse me, but overall,
Yeah.
Just like end step, put a counter.
I kind of wonder if I
I've
should have
lost
been
to 2-2 ballistas.
more aggressive.
that
I
way
should have
so
been
many
making
times.
putting more counters on instead of adding to the board.
I felt like against the control player, you played into counter magic a fair bit where you could have just been like hoarding counters and just like force him to spend mana answering your walking ballistas, and then you just throw it at his face. You like lava axe him or whatever, and then he's like tapped down a little bit lower, so you can like try to like jam some real cards in on your following turn.
Yeah, like it was kind of
It feels weird to not like play to the board though, right? And
Yeah,
just like
it
put all
seems
your
weird.
eggs. It's like it's not very mana efficient.
because like these planeswalkers are really good against control decks, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, should I try to resolve a walker? Nah, I'll just put a counter on my ballista. It's like,
Like every path to exile he has to spend on a ballista is just so good though, because it's like now he doesn't have it for your Glory Bringer or your Chameleon Colossus or your Kitchen Finks or whatever, right?
Are those all the
Yeah,
other
so we're getting
Yeah.
we're taking this slow and winding road.
Chameleon Colossus is really good there. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I have 12 mana? Yeah, okay, I'll hit you for 16.
blah, kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
more than that. That'd be 32, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
doubles, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll let you continue on the package.
So another thing is, I feel like we tested the deck against a lot of like meta decks, and then Great Escape doesn't really have any of those. So, like, just Sky Nahiri, no one's played that deck in probably a year.
Old Madcap Moon, not new Madcap Moon.
Yeah, old Madcap Moon. I guess it's creeping back in popularity now.
But it's like he was playing like the old Blood Moon version, not the new like Jeskai. I don't know if those play moons or not, but most of the new lists are like Jeskai, right? Like,
I think there's still Blue Moon.
are they still Blood Moons? They got his felt like the older list. Like, didn't he play like? I think he played like Roast or something. I think he had Roast main deck. Anyways,
Anyways,
it felt like
Yeah.
an older list. But
And
maybe
then,
I'm
like,
wrong.
Merfolk is not a particularly like high tier deck, and
was it tropical trash or was
No, it was
mono
just
blue.
mono blue?
Mono
Okay, all right.
Pure.
Is that what they're calling it now? Tropical trash?
That's
what we call it.
That's what we've called it.
So it's tilapia.
People call it people call it tropical fish, but the deck is actually just tropical trash. It's so bad.
although game 1 he was colorless fish apparently.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sad day.
He had a bunch of Aether Vials and Mutavaults.
Mono Mutavault, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll get there.
It did. He had a copter, and I couldn't deal with the flying.
Oh, he's
thing.
playing Smuggler's Copter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That card is good. It's, at some point, like sideboard in humans or something, that could be great.
Card's great.
Yeah.
We are familiar with it in colorless Eldrazi Stompy.
So, sometimes your thoughts, your climbs in a helicopter. And
We should actually like stop teasing them and actually tell them like what the creature base for the deck is though.
okay, so there.
The listeners are like,
We're playing
Watchers.
a bunch of mana dorks, 7 mana dorks, 4 Birds of Paradise, because it's the only mana dork that makes red mana. Because we want to play a Bloodstone on turn 2 and a Soul Land on turn 3, so we have 5 mana, and do something sick nasty on turn 3. So the thing is, we weren't really sure what our other mana dorks should be. It's like, should be Noble Hierarch or Llanowar Elves. So we ended up with Sakura Tribe Scout, because in the event that we don't have a Blood Sun, it makes the cost of playing bounce land is much less. And from playing Amulet all the time,
You just love the card.
yeah,
You love it.
I know that it's pretty good with the bounce land.
Yeah.
He's good with crews, yeah.
Yeah. Similarly along that vein, we're playing 4 Explorers. They're good if you don't have a sun.
They
with your
cantrip,
bounce lands.
yeah.
They also cantrip. And if you do have a sun, it's just like free, right? You play a soul land, you play another soul land. You're not down any mana that turn.
They still come into play tapped?
No,
No, because they don't have
they're
any
just
abilities.
They don't have that
soul-
ability,
They're
yeah.
colored
Okay.
soul
they just
lands.
make 2 mana.
Yeah,
That's all they do.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, so 7 dorks. We got a lot of 2s in the deck.
Yeah.
So we got 2 Tireless Trackers. That's very good with playing lots of lands. And when your lands make 2 mana, it's pretty sweet. Just crack the clue immediately if you have nothing
Yeah.
better to do. And unlike Amulet, you don't have to do it right away because the land's just there.
It's good at the Karus too.
Yeah.
Because you lose out on the fetch synergy, but you get the Karu synergy on
Right. So if you don't have your sun, you can just keep getting them. With the scout, sometimes you can play your tracker, play a land, get a clue, and like, oh, kill in response, like activate, get another clue.
I think all of our creatures we're playing that aren't like the mana dorks have like multiple uses. Like we try to go with very like flexible creatures. Like the tireless tracker gets big, but it also like draws through your deck. And like the ballistas are like small and big. They shoot players. They shoot creatures. Like we were totally trying to like offset just how like awkward it can be sometimes to play like really linear creatures and like kind of like these Ponza decks. They're just like, oh, I have this guy, so I play this guy, and it does only this, and like hopefully that's good enough.
The problem you run into is like typically your red green decks kind of get stomped by these like elf decks and these kind of things, and we can't really play Anger of the Gods and stuff because we don't want to kill our mana dorks necessarily, and it also kills like our tireless trackers, and it's just not the best.
Yeah.
So Ballista really kind of helps out mitigate the swarms while also being relevant in almost all matchups. I mean, I guess Storm is pretty not good, but I mean,
slow. It's not a Tarmogoyf.
Red green decks probably aren't beating Storm game 1 anyway.
Yeah.
And
so what else?
We got
so two kitchen finks to help the aggro, but it's also good against like a mid-range control, right? Because it's just a sticky body. They have to path the stupid thing to get rid of it if they really want it, which gives us more mana, which is what we want anyway.
Pads our life against decks, like the aggressive decks. We don't take fetch damage, so we're already pretty well positioned. Just like game 1, with like we're losing less life than the average modern deck, and then we get that little extra top off from the kitchen finks.
It helps us like bridge the gap if they like bolt your bird or something, right? Because you can't like ramp into your big fat stupid things. So like fine, I guess we'll bridge the gap with something else, and kitchen finks seems like a pretty good card to fill the gap. We got 2 Glory Bringers.
You considered Corsair Crucifix?
We thought about it a little bit.
Yeah, we thought about it. Originally, we only had 22 lands, which is not a lot of lands.
Yeah.
We're feeling that with so many Karoo lands and stuff, like the number of mana we have on average is probably the same, if not more. Mm-hmm. But the number of physical lands was not that high, so the Corsair was kind of maybe medium.
Mm-hmm.
If you had blue, consider that one.
Yeah.
We thought about Eternal Witness as well, but we decided that Nissa kind of fills that role, and the body is pretty.
Because there's not very many things that we can't get back with a Nissa that we could with Eternal Witness.
Mm-hmm. Glorybringer overperformed like in testing.
Yeah, in testing, Glorybringer seemed insane. Like, oh god, you're playing Abzan, right? So you're just like, oh, here's my I'm gonna thought seize you or do some thing or whatever. Here's like my Grim Flare.
4/4 Grim Flare. I was like, you're screwed down. It's like, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the body and removal spell is like.
Yeah, I'm like, try to fog up these lingering souls. Bliss just like shoot them out of the sky.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's like trying to pressure my walkers with these lingering souls and just like defend.
Yeah, it's done. Felt bad.
And then 2 Chameleon Colossus because it's
it just absolutely shits.
Yeah, it randomly dunks on the shadow decks, right?
Yeah.
And it's a pretty solid mana sink, right?
Yeah. Again, I
like it's either the Abyss or just murdering them. Typically,
I went off
the
with
blood
shadow.
decks. So Reduke's top 8 Abzan list, he doesn't run Path to Exile.
Yeah, no power.
So even that one, like you would think, they have a way, but they're just not even trying.
Yeah, he didn't have a way to answer Colossus main deck. Right?
Oh, Liliana,
yeah, and then we looked at like
block it.
We looked at Jerry Thompson's
Souls.
Pro Tour list, and he had like
I think he has 2 path or
no
path.
No path.
He was
Did
running
he have
4
a main?
bolts and like
Did he have a main
push.
deck way? Yeah.
Terminate.
He had to like double up.
Terminate doesn't do it either.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's was pretty much
It's
his
like
game.
impossible to kill.
Block with 1,000,000 Tarmogoyfs or something.
Oh, I'm missing a clause in this card. It definitely has some
Black.
Pro black.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm like, why isn't Fatal Push good enough?
Yeah. And so like I'm playing was it Strix's Shadow? I think it was Strix Shadow. I'm like it was like Shadow 2 Delve guy. I like went off. It was like insane. I was like, wow, I wish I could do this like in a PTQ or PBTQ. Like and like
I don't think you can do that on YouTube.
yeah, I just got crushed by this Chameleon Colossus.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna kill your Manadoro so you can't ramp. I'm gonna strip your hand of like your scary things. like, oh, I have all my Delve creatures, you're a pretty low life turtle. I'm like, oh, look at Colossus.
Do you guys know how they spoiled that card?
No.
So it was at I think it was a Grand Prix, and they were playing some multiplayer. I think this was before Commander, so it was just some multiplayer game, and some person from R&D was in the game and had Chameleon Colossus.
It just shows up.
They just showed up, right? And it's some multiplayer game, and they put a Loxodon Warhammer on it, and I guess they gained like
Oh my god.
at least 100 life. It might have been more than that. But that's how I remember seeing that on the internet. Like this card, and it gained all this life with the Warhammer, and that's how they spoiled it. Was just at some event.
That's pretty cool.
And then I was playing in Elf, so it was getting +1/+1 from Imperious Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Oh,
awesome
baby.
in that standard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that card.
It dunked on me real hard.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, I don't know how I lose this game. Like, it was so like I had a bow on it, and then he's just like, no, Colossus. I was like, oh shit. I guess I lose. Like, how beat?
He sitting there at 8 life, I don't know, 7 life, like, oh, I have my Shadow, my Gurmog, and my Tassiger, and like, I have them like done on board, and like, here's a 4/4 blocker.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't kill him anymore. Oh, I can't block.
I'm dead.
I'm just dead.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to the next game. Okay. Oh,
But nobody's played Shadow here, so
Yeah.
feels
So good,
bad,
man.
man.
No one does here.
No.
Not
All
really.
right, I'm gonna play it on Friday.
Yeah. I was thinking about it too.
I'm gonna play
Blood Raid.
Traverse.
Not this
Speaking-
week, next week.
Speaking of what you're going to be playing, what's your weekly roundup?
So this week, I built 18 decks that from donated cards from the Great Escape Games. So thank you, Great Escape Games, for donating. I don't know, they pounds of cards from mostly Ixalan, but just awesome. I built decks and decks until I ran out of basic lands. Was how that worked. I played one game of Magic at my daughter's first birthday party. I played with a battle box decks, which I know I said I was going to write an article series on. I got one article, and then
Hey,
I was just thinking
That's
about
a
this the other
series.
day. I was like doing some housekeeping on the website. I was
Yeah.
like, wasn't this supposed to be a series? I was like,
I'm looking at summer break. I'm
He's
looking at
busy.
summer break.
You just
but
gotta
anyways,
count them out and then dump them out slowly.
Johnson was playing Mardu Hakon. Hakon is a 3/3 knight. You can only cast it from your graveyard, so it has like Faithless Looting and stuff like that to get in your graveyard. Once you get into play, you can cast knights from your graveyard. So Nameless Inversion and Crib Swap are knights.
Yes.
So you get those. You just get it's
Solid.
infinite Nameless Inversions, infinite Crib Swaps. And I was playing Mono Black Infect, which has with the 4/5 for 4 mana. And it's basically just like mono black control. Lots of removal, wrench mine, discard like that.
That's
Wrench
a
mine.
really different way of thinking how to play Nameless Inversion multiple times. Is
That
by
was in
making
standard,
it-
though.
Yeah, it was a standard combo.
That is
Yeah.
so that is such an out of the box kind of thinking.
I've seen
Yeah, that was there
crop
was
up
a
before
I think it was a
Modern.
black white knights deck in standard, and I remember losing to that at the old Great Escape. And then right when they moved over here, I started playing it, but it was blue. It was blue black. I think there was another color because I was playing Nameless Inversion and Wings of Velis Veil, something like that.
Velis Veli? Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
it gives makes it's 2 mana instant. Target creature becomes a changeling and is a 4/4
Flying,
flyer.
yeah.
So
Oh my God.
combos with Nameless Inversion, you make it a 4/4 flyer, then give it +3/-3, and you're attacking for 7. And I was running Merfolk Looter was like my way to dump the cards.
Solid.
But yeah, that was back in the day. But yeah, so it was
man.
Mardu Hakon versus Mono Black Infect. I was like, I had him like dead on board, and then he drew the Nameless Inversion and just machine gunned me like. And then from then, like I just he had like 6 mana, and so it's like I have 4/5s in the deck, but it doesn't matter. Like he, so yeah, it took a little while for him to kill me past that because he's beaten out with a 3/3, but like it,
Doesn't matter.
yeah,
Doesn't matter.
yeah. And so yeah, that is what I did in playing Magic, and I guess I'll talk a little bit of finance later.
I actually also played a deck this week with Nameless Inversion in it. in modern? In modern.
Modern?
Yeah. I got convinced by Kevin to run back Esper Dragons in modern.
A fan favorite. I'm
Oh
sure.
man, that deck gets groans whenever it shows up at the shop. I'm like, this
You know what though?
fucking
That
shit.
makes that drag with Silumgar's Scorn. Is that
Yeah.
the counter spell?
Oh yeah.
Is it just hard counter?
It's just
then?
counterspell.
It's counterspell.
Is it cancel and it's 1 cheaper if you have a? Or
No,
is it,
it's just counterspell.
It's
2 mana force
spike.
spike.
Oh, okay, but it's counterspell with the
with
yeah.
the
The best is when
Okay.
you force spike someone and they just don't have the mana, so you don't reveal the dragon, so they don't know you have a dragon in their hand.
You like untap, slam the dragon.
Yeah.
Is it just nameless inversion or also Crypt Swap?
Just nameless. One nameless. There's Mutavaults.
Yeah, we play two.
Okay.
2 Mutavaults, 1 nameless inversion,
Build your own
4
cancel.
Dragon Lord Ojitai.
It is build your own cancel
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty solid. And it checks on cast, so when it's put on the stack, so they can't like bolt. your
Yeah, so even if they
Mutavault.
bolt your mutable in response, it's still a counterspell.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's sweet. They don't.
I
have
can
it.
feel the groans from here, though.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so good. So I went 2-1-1. I should have been 3-1. I got a draw because I am bad and played a little too conservatively. I was playing against humans, and I just like traded my Dragon Lord Ojitai for like a guy. I was just like, yeah, removal, sweet, keep his board clean. Because I've been like really flooded on Ojitais all night, and I was just like, I'll draw another, it'll be fine. And it was like,
That's rational thinking.
actually, I just had enough card. Like, I could have just taken the hit, and then just like been locked up, and like he wouldn't have been able to like get a hit on board. Like I
Yeah.
just had him kind of pinned down. The dragon just kills him like real fast.
Was it 5?
It's a 5-4.
5/4.
5/4? Okay.
And it anticipates when you hit them.
Yeah.
Has hexproof when untapped.
Anticipate.
Play Minamo in the deck to untap it. Get ya sometimes.
You can cut that card from Swans now. No, anticipate. Are you
Yeah.
still running that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Is it? No.
Yeah,
not
you're
Kevin.
gonna cut it now.
Is it? I
For
don't think
what?
Kevin said it was
Oh,
first.
yeah. All right.
For what?
For a Planeswalker?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I played that. It was pretty sweet. But I found out that Kevin took it to a Channel Fireball 1K on was it yesterday actually?
Yeah.
And they split top 8, but he was highest seed going into the top 8 with Esper Dragons.
Yeah, number 1 seed Esper Dragons in Mono.
Fantastic. Beautiful.
That guy and his decks.
I wish he played Legacy because like I would love to just have like his lists available to like play and like oh, it'd be so sweet. God, he has the best brews.
No one ever expects Esper Dragons.
No, like no. They're like,
No.
what? They're like, that's a standard deck, right? I'm like, yeah, it was. It's pretty sweet. It's like all instant. Everything's instant speed except
Yeah.
for one Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, Ojitai.
And yes, I'm sorry.
But I mean, that's.
Everything else though. It's like
It's game time, then.
it's playing one mystical teachings.
Oh,
like,
very nice.
So you're like
yeah, yeah.
teachings for a Snapcaster mage. Like,
Oh
Teachings for Cryptic Command. Or my Sphinx's Rev.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Jeez.
I just jam it into a control deck, and then they're just like, what do? It's like immediate card advantage, like no matter what they do. Pretty good. How about you, Steven? What did you play this week? Wait. Let's guess.
Hold on, teachings? Best thing to do with teachings is get teachings.
There's only one.
You're gonna get another one. 2 is so much better than 1 in that. Yeah.
That's gross. Though. With your second teachings, that's really gross.
That's in standard. That's what it was. You just teachings for teachings.
It's like Squadron Hawk the spell.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awful.
With flashback.
Ugh.
So
Wait. Were there colorless cards in this deck?
there were colorless cards in this deck.
Were a
Were
lot
there
of them
lands?
0 mana?
There were lands and there were 0
No,
mana.
lands are colorless. That's why I asked.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So yeah, I did play Affinity. but-
Oh! Surprise!
No way. All right, but this list.
Did you win it all
Yeah.
without a fin? Oh my goodness.
I played a version of the deck that is really bad. So it's called Mono White Affinity. And so
I think
those faces.
I think it's called Tempered Steel, Steven.
No. Okay,
They
so yeah.
seek to
So
disassociate
yeah.
themselves.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it did run 3 Tempered Steel. It ran 3 Dispatch in the main board, and then it ran 3
Court Homunculus?
Cerams Expertise.
Court Homunculus.
Do you run Core Homunculus?
No.
Awful.
God.
Oh, Modern Masters 1 Draft All-Star.
You
Get a
just play
bone
Elite
splitter on it?
Vanguard. Yeah.
Not nearly as good as Rusted Relic.
Kids are the worst. Literal worst.
Oh,
I think Affinity is.
Cerams Expertise.
did you play Stony
was-
Silence in the sideboard?
What
No,
is?
I didn't.
I don't even know that one does.
Cerams Expertise is white, and 2 make 3.
Oh, my opponent has ballistas. Better get the Stony Silence in my deck.
Got him. Something against Tron?
So
How do you beat my S champion with Tempered Steel?
I don't want to sit in the middle. This is stupid.
You feel like you're getting bullied?
Ceram's expertise. White, and 2. Make 3 artifacts. Make 3 1/1 servo artifact creature
Does it
tokens. No.
Servos don't have flying?
No.
Weak servos.
And then you may play a card with converted mana cost 3 or less and, for free.
Like Tempered Steel.
So
like-
servo's just like a pit droid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's also what is it? Hidden Stockpile makes servos. We've both been playing with servos lately. They're bad, right?
Yeah, so they're awful. God, they're so bad. Except when you go Stram's expertise, tempered steel, and then you just got
9 power. On
9 power on the board.
All these wild Nicoddles.
Yeah. And then they kind of just look at the board like, huh.
I had a grandma game.
I'm gonna fatal push one. Yeah, and then there was one game where I go Stram's expertise cranial plating, and still had a mana left over to equip it to my flyer, and so I'm hitting for +4 of whatever was already on the battlefield. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. The sideboard was super weird. Had 3 had champions as per standard. It had 3 Path to Exile, 2 Selfless Spirit, 2 Leyline and Sanctity, 2 Leyline.
Yeah, that's usually like a 4 or none because
maybe a
but you can hard cast it.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
like
playing
you can-
Opal, so you can cast it turn 3.
Yeah. And so most often than not, I just had Ceram's expertise in my hand, and I was like, oh, I can't actually cast this right now.
4 drops in my
But it's like I had 4 mana, I just didn't have white, and that was the biggest issue. And then there was a lot of turns where I got Blood Moon, and then I had red, and
You shouldn't play a version of Affinity that's bad against Blood Moon.
yeah. So what I've decided is that I'm basically just going to cycle through all the colors and just do monocolor Affinity and just try them out and see how that's going to work.
Okay. Do you ever consider actually like running like Affinity cards like Frogmite?
Yeah.
Because those are really good with Tempered Steel.
Oh, that's accurate. Yeah.
And the
Ceram's
the
expertise
4/4
mirror
Mirror
enforcer.
Enforcer is actually way easier to get in play than you would think, but
Really?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
7?
Yeah.
7, yeah. But I mean, like you
It's
have
like
Dark
3
Steel
mana.
Citadel, you
Yeah.
have
It's like 2 or 3 mana all at the
just
time.
think if you have Citadel, Opal, and Springleaf Drum, like you're halfway there, right? So
The next version that I'm going to be trying is the green version.
Fangren Marauder.
Ancient Strings?
you run Oxidize.
I could run Oxidize. Accurate.
Molder Slug.
That's worse. Let's move on to our topics. Let's talk about them Torontos.
Them Torontos.
Them Torontos.
That Toronto. Dat Toronto.
That Toronto.
Yeah.
That top 8 was fun.
Boys.
You know what though? Real quick, decks that I've seen this week. Actually, my brother was telling me there's a Living End, As Foretold variant.
Yeah, we talked about
So
it.
was that last week
I love it.
Ugh.
with Kiki Jiki? Was that last week? You guys were talking about that?
Maybe it's like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks ago.
I'm a little behind. All right. Anyways, GP Toronto.
That was a spicy.
GP Toronto. The top 8 was the winner was Boggles.
Who would
which
win? One GP or one sorry boy? It's like harbingers of the apocalypse, man. Like Boggles wins a modern GP. Day later, fucking Jace the Mind Sculptor gets a man.
All is right in the world now. That card was a house in limited. You put the green blue enchantment on it. I think you give it +2 in flying because it's like +1 if it's blue, +1 if it's
Steal the
green.
Godhead?
No,
it's that same cycle though.
Yeah.
Steal the Godhead, but I think
Oh,
so that-
blue green one.
the blue green one. I think it was like
Oh.
flying and maybe like
Yeah,
I don't know,
what do you
trample
do?
or something.
something. But yeah, so you would just make like a turn 2 like 3/3 hexproof flyer.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, Flample.
It was just as interactive then.
Second place was Burn.
Ah,
Third place Jeskai.
Do
Fourth
we know which
place
version of Just
Control. Just
Like the
no
guys.
no
Colors.
guys or color. I think I'm not positive on
Queller's
that.
good, but yeah, when the less
I think it was
creatures
no
you have,
guy. I
the
think it
worse
was a no
it is,
geist
so.
version. Yeah, you got it.
We can
Right here. That's the top 32, my friend.
we can take a look here.
It is.
Look-skies.
Yeah, just Snapcasters and a Gideon allies in the card.
Just the one.
That's a weird.
You know what?
That's
it's
a weird
gonna have
Gideon
now?
to play there.
Gideon, that one's really good though.
I think the 3-mana Gideon's better in like a controlled list.
You
Yeah,
know
that
what's
one
better
kills
than a
people
control
quicker
list?
though.
I guess, yeah.
But-
What?
He said he was better than control list.
Yeah.
4-mana Planeswalkers.
I guess.
Jeez,
Yeah.
the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah, that'll be where people start with that. Like they'll just slot that into that deck.
Just
and then,
one. I think you play more than
Yeah.
one, but yeah.
Oh no, definitely. You run a playset because the next one you just shuffle away. So
Did you guys, the fourth place deck, Griselbrand, did you guys see the video clip that's been going around?
No.
So he's,
of this person playing
I'm
it.
pretty
or-
sure it was this guy. Doesn't really matter. I think he gets to like pass turn. His opponent is on burn, has 2 mana, and goes to end of turn, burrows Torment, and he just goes off, and is on end step. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just kills him. Just like does the thing, you know. Like he like I think he splices. He does.
Shoals.
He Green Shoal splices on a Through the Breach, breaches out Griselbrand, draws cards, breaches again, I believe, splicing Desperate Rituals, gains some mana, breaches again, plays a Borborygmos, blah.
Yeah.
Man.
Is it like a Kamehameha there?
Yeah. It was like, it was a lot. It might have been like 18 damage or something. You just like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, just melted the guy.
Uh-huh.
The guy,
Jeez.
and the guy's just like, I think he was just playing around the anti-life game, Skullcrack. I think he just was waiting for his opponent to tap out so he
Yeah.
couldn't Skullcrack.
Mhm.
He's like, we're getting to go! Clear for takeoff.
So gross.
Yeah.
The next one down the list after Griselbrand is Elves, and then Traverse Shadow, Affinity, and Burn again.
Hey, Affinity actually like made it into a top 8.
I know, right?
The
It's
deck has
exciting.
been on the DL, as in low in the standings, for a while now.
It has been. It's very low in the
That's not really
standings.
doing well.
I might be attributing this to the wrong person, but I'm pretty sure I saw Frank Karsten today on Twitter said like, Mind Sculptor's unbanned, Bloodbraid Elf is unbanned. I don't care. I'm just gonna play more Etch Champion. So you might be right.
I mean,
We'll see.
Champion's sweet. Like, a lot of decks just, like, how beat. Like,
How do you beat Champion? Like,
the card is very frustrating.
Can't bounce it.
can't bounce it, can't
You know what?
fatal
deals-
push it, can't
Servos. Servos deal with it.
servos
Servos.
do block
Yeah.
it. That's accurate.
Supposed to shoot him.
Yeah, that's real good.
But I guess like yeah, let's move on to that. Is the Jason
What, did something happen today?
Oh, what?
right?
I
I mean, I thought something.
I had a
happened,
few
right?
messages on my phone when I woke up.
Right.
Like, 30.
Yeah. Your phone's dead when you wake up.
It was like,
I woke up to like one text message of like OMG all caps like they
So-
did it. Like,
I just rolled over. I sighed and just like rolled over, went back to sleep. I was like, of fucking course they did, and just like
Yeah.
back to sleep.
So I like wake up and I see some like messages like, oh yeah, that's right, BR updates. So I go look at it and it's like 8:03, and it was like posted 3 minutes ago.
No, it was.
you were the
up
guy
before 8
blowing everyone
o'clock.
up.
What?
Yeah, because I got to work. I left for work at like 7, and I checked in my car. When I got in my car, I was like, I just gotta check and see if it's there so I can think about this when I drive to work. It wasn't posted yet. And then I got to work, and I was like, all right, I gotta go get the kids from the line. They've been waiting for me a few minutes. All right, but I gotta check real quick. And it was like 7:45 or
They
maybe even
screw-
7:30.
They screw up their postings
Yeah.
all the time.
I don't know,
That's
whatever.
for them.
Anyways.
So you go, it's like, oh, Bloodbraid Elf has been unbanned. Jace the Mind's. Nani?
yeah.
So then I promptly open up a new tab and go on over to TCG Player.
yeah,
It's like
I didn't even
Jace the Mind's. At the time that I checked at 8:05 this morning, the lowest price that you could buy a Jace for that was lightly played was $190.
Yeah, yeah. And the market
So,
price
for
by
world
then was
weight.
like 140 or something.
No, at that time market price was reading like $90.
Oh, still? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
It was like, huh.
Yeah.
Well, back to sleep.
yeah. I also had the same idea, and I was like, oh, like I'll just go buy some now.
You fools.
But when
No one would ship 'em.
You fools.
when
yeah.
I opened up my app that has all the prices on it, it hadn't loaded the new prices, and it was like $90 and $80 for like the two cheapest, and I was like, oh, perfect, that's reasonable, and I click on it, and then like it like isn't loading, and so I like back out, and it still has the same price, and I click on it again, and then this new price hits me in the face. That's $150, and I was like, well, okay, I missed that train. Go back to bed.
You missed that train like a week ago. When
It was even worse than. So I remember when Sword of the Meat got unbanned. A very similar thing happened. We're in the span of couple of hours. It went from worthless to $1 billion. With Sword of the Meat, you actually just couldn't get them.
Yeah.
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 Like there's no way.
They just
There's any more sellers. They're just gone. But Jason's like, there's sellers
All the legacy players are like,
for.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what though? I guarantee you by April 1st, you can have a playset of Masters 25 Jaces delivered to you for $200.
Yeah.
So,
Woo, lucky us.
Oh boy.
well, sure, but that's like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
had bought a month ago, they were $50.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, there's so much hype, but that's people have been sitting on these, right?
Yeah.
You know, and how many? It has been printed a bunch. Like there should be way more Jaces than
right?
Tarmogoyfs.
I don't think
Jason-
so.
There will be the same
Goyf
number
has been
after the
crazy
Masters.
printed, yeah.
It's
It'll
an
be the
Eternal
same number.
Masters.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
Eternal
in
Masters.
World Wake, which is way bigger than Future Sight. I guess maybe not way bigger, but bigger. It was like the first, like that's where it started. It really were
From the
cranking
vaults.
From the Vault 20.
Yeah, which
From the
didn't-
Vault 20.
This is
And
not
is that the, so I guess it's just printed so much more online.
Yeah.
Eternal Masters is big though. But Goyf has gotten three
All Modern Masters.
3 Modern Masters reprintings. Yeah.
So it has 4 printings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, I
it'll
guess
be even.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Goyf's.
Goyf is also just bad.
Goyf has dropped in price a lot.
Goyf is not bad.
Goyf
but
is bad right now.
There
Like,
were more Goyfs in the Pro Tour top 8 than Shadows?
Probably.
Maybe.
That's
think
Reduke
so?
though. That's like the Reduke
but they all,
distortion field.
but they all died. They all died of Fatal Push.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah, and Jace does not die to
all
Fatal
Tarmogoyfs
Push,
died
so-
to Fatal Push? That's wow. Good
Were
Weird,
there
weird. Oh my
similar
God.
numbers of Tarmogoyfs and Flamewake Phoenixes in the top 8?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Flame Lake Phoenix, what a card.
Maybe.
Oh, all right. So we're gonna dig into the meat of this.
Also, I guess, well, Bloodbraid Elf.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Blood Red
also got
Blood Red
banned.
Elf
Yeah.
did also get him banned.
Jace the Mind Sculptor. This is a Bloodbraid Elf. Jace the Mind Sculptor and Bloodbraid Elf have been unbanned. They are free to be unleashed on the modern format come next week.
Next Monday.
Next Monday.
I'm stoked.
So the reason for that is because there's a GP this coming weekend.
Yeah,
and they
they-
didn't want to screw everyone over for that particular GP.
You know what? I did want to touch a little bit on the actual announcement. I think this has been the best, like the most well written announcement for
I feel like they wrote
you
it
mean
6
a
months
banning
ago.
or unbanning.
You mean how they plugged Masters 25 in their reasoning?
Cover their
banning
ass.
Jace?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but they're like
Oh,
they're like
don't
kind
worry,
of
you
being
can get
honest,
some
right?
with our new supplemental product.
Like they're at least being honest about it. Like we're unbanning
I see
it
that
so
from
we can
both
push.
sides. Like, you're totally right. They were like, buy this. But at the same time, like, for a long time, people were saying, well, they can't unban it unless they reprint it.
true.
And I
People
feel like
get
I
even
said this
angrier.
at some point where I said, like, they have to, when they reprint it one more time, it's probably safe to unban and it won't be crazy expensive. Obviously, the spike, like, Bitter Blossom was $80.
Yeah.
And they
now it's like
just
toilet
reprinted
paper.
Jace and Eternal Masters too. Like
Yeah.
they did just reprint it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's like they already have used Jace as a vehicle to sell product
Uh-huh.
just,
Yeah.
a month or two ago. So it's I want to be cynical about it and be like, yeah, they're just like, Jace is the face. Gotta sell some packs,
Just
but
to the face.
yeah.
They did their due diligence with it of, like,
you're not
getting
buying
supply.
Masters for Azusa's, right?
Yeah.
And I
Not
do.
anymore.
I mean, I am. That's I don't even want the Jaces. I just want Azusa's.
Get that sweet watermark.
Yeah, that's actually really cool that the watermark is on the text box.
The best part about the announcement, in my opinion, was the fact that they were like kind of echoing what other people had been saying coming into this BNR announcement, saying like, oh, like Lantern or Affinity needs to get something banned out of it, when the only common card's really like Mox Ulp or something. And so like they have like a whole paragraph where they're like, if you add red to this, you can play Lightning Bolt or Ancient Grudge, and if you play white, you can play Lingering Souls or Stony Silence. Like, not all decks need a banning. You have a ton of hate.
Yeah.
Like
Shatterstorm is a card.
If Lantern gets to be oppressive, it's easy solution.
Easy peasy.
There's some real solid sideboard cards against artifacts in Modern. Real fucking solid.
We'll just play a Rurik Thar.
Oh, yeah.
Instant Bridge, Rurik Thar. Who will win?
One angry boy. Oh, man.
But yeah, I'm excited. I want to play Jund, like, with Bloodbraid Elf. That's only because I don't have enough money I don't have $600 to drop on Jace's right now. But when I do finally have that money...
Just wait until... I'm telling you, wait till that set comes out. Give it a week, like...
You really think they'll be back down to $50 a piece, or buying playsets for $200?
They'll be low.
They'll be pretty low.
They'll be...
Just look at Tarmogoyf. People who... Like, I just think Tarmogoyf is still a more in-demand
I think Liliana
card.
the Veil is a better...
It may be, yeah.
And
So,
Liliana has maintained some price, but she's better.
Innistrad would be bigger print run than World Wake.
Yeah.
But I would say World Wake plus Masters... Or Vintage... Magic 20 was it 20? It was 5 years ago
Yeah.
when the
last
Magic
Jace.
from the Vault 20.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. But
Awful foiling.
but so those two, right? It's probably close to Innistrad, and then Liliana just has the one reprint, or also the promo, I guess, too, huh?
Yeah, but the promo's
The
like
RPTQ.
Yeah.
Small, yeah.
small. Very
So
small.
then, yeah, the Modern Masters, and you compare that to what none of those sets were at, or you couldn't get From the Vault or Modern Masters at Walmart, but you're going to be able to get Masters 25 at Walmart.
Yeah.
So
Maybe a lot of
just
packs,
the
a lot of packs.
so many, like that'll probably be
One pack
the
stolen from Walmart. God, they got a problem with packs being stolen. Jeez. They can't keep
I
that
don't know
product on the
anything
shelves.
about
That's
that.
not because it's selling.
It's walking out.
Yeah.
walking ballistic.
All right, I'm gonna get a quick show of hands here. Which one are you more excited about? Bloodbraid Elf? One hand. I'm
Nope,
more
just
excited
me.
about. I'm more excited about Bloodbraid. So we got two people more
I think
excited.
Bloodbraid Elf will be almost not irrelevant, but just
I'm talking about excited though. Now, which one do you think is better? Which one do you think is gonna
Jace.
have more of
Jace.
an impact? Do you guys think
yeah.
Jace? I think Bloodbraid.
No, I think Jace is gonna have more of an impact on the format, and it's gonna be left to the wayside for a little bit until people realize like, oh, this card, we can do things with it. It's fun. It's great. It's fantastic.
What do you think, Chris?
So I feel like what's gonna happen is everyone's gonna want to jam Jaces in their deck, and they're gonna play these weird dirtily Jace decks and get dumpstered by Burn for a month or two.
Or 5.
Until someone figures out that maybe we shouldn't be, playing mono Jaces the deck, or they figure out how to balance it out, and then the deck will be really good. Whereas Bloodbraid Elf is going to be more immediate. I'm just going to slam some Bloodbraids in my deck, and it's going to be good on day one.
yeah.
I mean, not to say Jace will be bad on day one.
It slots into
but
Jund like
Yeah.
very easily. I mean,
so
You
that's
just
where it
look
was
at an
before,
old list
right?
and update
Yeah.
Lightning to like Kolaghan's command.
well, they wouldn't have run Lightning before in Modern. Like
They did.
I ran when Deathrat Shaman was legal after Bloodbraid Elf was banned. I ran a single copy. I think I was copying a Reed Duke list. I ran a single Lightning, and it was good in that slot because it was just like it wasn't ever dead. But here, you're right. Like Kolaghan's command is that slot now.
Yeah.
But it's easy to just fit 4 Bloodbraid Elf at the top of the curve. If you're running a Chandra, it's a Bloodbraid Elf now. If you're running a Huntmaster, whatever it is.
I kind of feel like with Jund, they were always like asking themselves, "What's the best 4-drop we can be playing? Should we play like the
Goblin Routemaster.
Chandra,
Hazarat.
Hazarat, or should we play Huntmaster or whatever?"
Routemaster.
And now just play.
Yeah.
Play Bloodbraid.
I honestly think the Bloodbraid is actually the better card, and I don't think many people agree, or maybe some Jund diehards do. But I think it's better than Jace in the format, and I think it's because it makes a much more immediate impact than Jace does.
Well, Jace can make an immediate impact.
He can
right?
unsummon. You can unsummon.
It can unsummon and it can Fate Seal. Like, Fate Seal's pretty
It
strong.
doesn't impact the board, though.
Okay,
It doesn't
sure.
impact the board. Jace is 150% better in the long game. The longer the game goes, the better Jace is, and better than Bloodbraid Elf.
Well, that's what people are going to have to figure out is
But on turn
how
4...
to set up your Jace.
Yeah.
Sure, turn 4,
Turn
Blood Rail's
4
going to be
Blood
better
Raid
a lot of
is
times. But
so
imagine
much
you
better.
go, turn 1 Lightning Bolt, turn 2 Remand,
Yeah.
Blood Moon, Jace.
Yeah, but
Or even just,
Modern is just such a fast format that I feel like the effect that on the board and on your resources, turn 4 and then the following turn with Bloodbraid Elf, it just has a much stronger impact on the game than Jace. I think each turn that Jace stays in play, you are more and more likely to win that game for sure. It snowballs really hard, right? But like in terms of just like front-loaded impact and control over the game, I think Bloodbraid is way higher. It gets in for damage immediately. It's a blocker, so you don't die potentially. It is putting something else into play, either another spell or the type of cards you're playing Bloodbraid Elf with are very proactive usually.
So
and also affect the board a lot of the time. They're going to be creatures or removal spells or some a planeswalker like a Liliana the Last Hope, and he's going to like, or she I should say, is going to immediately come down and like have a big impact on the game and the board state. Whereas Jace, you got to protect your Jace a lot of the time, otherwise it's just going to die and be a brainstorm. But once you have the ability to protect your Jace is staying around, and you're going to win a lot of the time. But I don't think you don't usually just jam turn 4 Jace. You're like turn 6 Jace probably, and that's good.
So I almost feel like it's not even a fair comparison though, because almost every planeswalker is really weak the turn that you play it.
That's fair.
Right. Even like, what's the best planeswalker the turn you play? What, Liliana?
Gideon. 3-mana Gideon. Can't lose.
But yeah, I think
like 3-mana
the
Fog.
Yeah.
Liliana. Liliana
Right.
is probably
And so like, so what has a higher impact the turn you play? Liliana Veil? Bloodbraid Elf. Conjurer's Defiance? Bloodbraid Elf.
It depends on if your Blood Rail hits that Liliana.
Literally any planeswalker in the game, any HD 2-for-1 creature. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
obviously Bloodbraid Elf is going to be much more powerful the turn that you play.
Yeah.
Right. But every single turn that you have a Jace,
Your percentage to win is like
You're like
tick tick tick.
yeah, he's just so good.
advantage bar. Slowly sliding.
Goddamn advantage.
Like,
So bad.
it's like
Jace is a
having a
sub-game.
Liliana that pluses every turn is really good.
That's a great point.
Jace is a sub game. Bloodbraid Elf is not. When
Yeah.
you don't have a Bloodbraid Elf deck. You have a Jund deck that plays Bloodbraid Elf.
Yeah.
If Jace is in your deck, it's a Jace deck.
Yeah.
Or else it's not the best version of the deck you're running.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So-
it's how quick. Like, I need to kill that Jace before they win.
Yeah.
So that now turns into like they're playing this totally new game of how many loyalty counters can I remove from Jace, and they're not paying attention to the player.
So at least like the way it feels in Legacy is if I play Jace, right? Unless the Jace player is just dead on board, you cannot just not attack the Jace.
You have to deal with the Jace immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, your opponent's at 5, I have 4 damage on board, I'm attacking this Jace.
Yeah. Jason,
Right?
No, I mean, I guess it's definitely conditional. Like you have one creature, like that is the right move. You have multiple creatures, I'd say it's probably safer to attack the person.
I mean, I guess it all depends, right?
Yeah,
4/1/1s and
conditions
1/4/1.
apply. Yeah. But yeah, generally you want to remove the Jace as soon as possible.
The framing I guess I have for this in terms of like I'm talking about being better in Modern too is that currently if you look at Control in Modern, I think Control is a pretty weak archetype, right? Like it's
Totally,
Right.
it's the weakest.
Control's not very good.
It's not the weakest, but it's the weakest of the tier ones, I guess.
And I think mid-range, and not necessarily like traditional Jund mid-range, but like the Shadow mid-range decks are some of the best decks in Modern right now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take one of the best archetypes and give it a really good card, and you take one of the weaker archetypes and give it an extremely good card, I don't know if we're going to be like, being, like crushed under these unbeatable Jaces. I think we're going to be getting smacked in the face of Bloodbraid Elf and losing to that a lot more often than we lose to Jace. Like a lot of the times, like Jace is obviously like way better than these other planeswalkers, but like if you're playing a control deck and you're resolving a 4-mana planeswalker, you're usually pretty ahead in that game.
Yeah.
You could be a Jace Architect of Thought, right? Like, man, I'm not gonna play that card anymore. That's sad.
They should have sold those.
I like that card. I like that card too, but you're probably not playing it anymore. Unless you want a 5th Jace and you play like a 1-of Architect of Thought. But
You just played Jace the deck.
yeah, Jace the deck, the Jason name, the doubling season.
You can
Oops, all
have
Jason.
like 5 Jaces in play.
Exactly.
You carve out 2, 3, 4. There's a 5 and there's 6 that
Yeah.
won from the Walmart deck.
Yep.
They're bad. Yeah, but like
5 of the mill one.
I just feel like the impact on Modern as a whole though for Jace, it doesn't. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong on this. Like Jace is an extremely powerful card. I'm more than willing to be wrong on Jace. It's insane. But I just think like the way games of Modern work out and the tools that control decks have to shape the course of the game, I don't know if Jace fixes the core fundamental problems that Control has. Like, Control doesn't have card advantage and selection problems by and large. It has trouble dealing with the wide variety of threats that Modern presents to a Control deck, right?
Yeah.
Control decks have to deal with really aggressive decks, spell-based combo, creature-based combo, big mana decks.
Sometimes
Jace-
you draw the wrong part of your deck.
Yeah.
Jace fixes that.
So I agree with what John was saying is that it doesn't fix the problem. It almost feels like this is kind of like a win more card for Control. They either play it on turn 4 and they lose, or they play it on turn 10 when they have 4 mana to back up a counterspell, and now they're just winning more than they already were. They were already ahead, but now they're just winning more. And while it does help them find the right side of their deck, I think more often than not, Control doesn't have that problem. I feel like Control doesn't ever have the problem where they're like, dang, I drew the wrong counterspell, or dang, I drew the wrong removal
It's
spell.
more that you drew a counterspell instead of a removal spell, I think, is more the problem.
So, all right, what is the goal? Like,
I
let's say you
need a
take-
verdict, and I drew a mana leak.
Sure, yeah.
It's like, great.
Let's say you take Bloodbraid Elf and you just jam it into Death Shadow or Jund. What is the goal of that deck?
Kill the opponent.
You're going to say the ideal goal is to kind of grind the game out, right?
Yeah,
You're
sure.
You got better card advantage.
Now, what is the goal of a blue-white or Esper Jeskai deck playing Jace the Mind Sculptor?
Go long, and you're going to do
No.
You don't agree?
No. The goal of that deck is to resolve Jace the Mind Sculptor and then tap. And then they win. That becomes... Whereas with Burn, right?
Yeah.
You win when you put them at 0.
It's fair.
With Jace, you win, or at least as far as your deck is concerned, the goal of your deck, you build it so that you can untap with Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have all those problems of, I'm drawing the wrong parts of my deck. This negate is not good because I'm playing against, a creature deck.
yeah.
So you shuffle them out. You know.
It's like Esper Dragons, where if you untap with Dragonlord Ojutai,
The game ends.
The game ends. But you're doing it a turn earlier, and it's not a creature.
Or swans.
Yeah.
You untap with a Swan of Bernardo and play, and you win the game.
Yeah.
But
That's fair. That's fair.
And against creature decks, all you have to do is make it so when you untap on turn 4, they just have one creature. And then you bounce it, and then what are they going to do? They play a creature? Fine, you untap with your Jace. You can brainstorm, you can answer it, you can bounce it again by yourself, a free draw.
What if that one creature's a Bloodbraid Elf?
Well, okay, so in standard, now in standard,
The Eternal
Bloodbraid
Battle.
Elf was absolutely the reason Jace did not see play. Did not see play until Alara that block rotated. Now, part of that was because Maelstrom Pulse was a 3 or a 4 of. And also Lightning, so Jund at that time was 4 Lightning, 3 Maelstrom Pulse, 4 Lightning Bolt,
Oh, so Jund.
4 Bloodbraid Elf. It
Okay,
really
cool
was.
Jund, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
People have also not become addicted to Jace the Mind Sculptor yet at that point.
you couldn't play it though because if you there was so many ways you couldn't brainstorm with it right away, and even if you did, Bloodbraid Elf into so many cards destroyed it.
you.
So Bloodbraid Elf is actually a check on Jace, except for that Bloodbraid Elf won't be 20% of the meta, it won't be 25% of the meta like Jund was in standard.
Yeah.
It will be 6 to 8% of the meta. And so where's the rest of it?
So I guess that brings in leads in kind of to this new question of are these two unbannings are we going to see oppressive metas again after what we've seen, these past couple months of tournaments, having these beautiful, colorful metas where you see all the colors of the rainbow, but now are we only going to see Jund or Bloodbraid.deck and Jace.deck be the
Boggles.
number one?
So then,
Just won a Grand Prix. Like, neither of these cards can do anything.
yeah, these cards are really bad against
that's
them.
accurate.
And
Yeah.
Reality Smasher, I'm telling you, like, the reason Bloodbraid Elf was so good against Jace was because it was a 3-2 haste, right? So they couldn't brainstorm, but you could also hit, one of the other things that would help you finish it off if they Fate Sealed. Reality Smasher does not care if you Fate Seal. It is 5/5.
I mean, Reality Smasher eats Planeswalkers for breakfast.
Yes. Yes.
Dead.
And is Reality Smasher, its clause, is that just when you cast a spell or when it's targeted you have
When
to
it's
just...
Targeted by the
Okay,
spell.
okay. So you could still bounce it with Jace and not have to...
Yes.
But then...
But
But
Jace is
you've already
dead.
taken.
Then it's
Yeah,
crushed.
Jace is already.
They
Well,
bounce
this
it,
is if
Jace
they
is
have
going to
Smasher
take
and then you
5,
play
yeah.
the Jace.
But then they just replay the Smasher
Exactly,
and clear
yeah.
your Jace.
Yeah. So there are definitely
No,
checks
no, no.
on Jace there. Like, I mean,
So
that's...
here's interesting. You bring up Reality Smasher. So what if you're saying, oh, what if we just have like Control versus Jund, and then Big Mana just shows up and he goes, ha, you're playing
Yeah.
mid range, you're playing Control.
Oh yeah, Karn just exile their Jace. Yeah. Yeah. They play, if like, Tron's Nuts hand, where they just have that turn 3 Karn, your Jace doesn't do anything.
Bloodbraid is good against Karn that just minused. But the hard part is
That's
casting.
true, actually.
It's how you're
Yeah.
casting the Bloodbraid. Yeah.
Or the Bloodbraid Elf, and then if you get a creature, now Karn has a hard time dealing with 2 at a time.
I honestly think
Ugin.
a savvy Tron player in a meta with Bloodbraid Elf is going to plus their Karn a lot of the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Unless you have no other threats but lands.
It's like what,
right?
10 loyalty when you plus it?
Yeah,
It's
like-
untouchable.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a big boy.
although branching out here, Jund type decks are really incentivized to play stuff like Dreadbore now because of if Jace is a real issue.
Dreadbore and Maelstrom Pulse.
Dreadbore can keep Karn a little bit more in check.
Those are cards you should buy right now.
But Blood
Dreadbore
still isn't
especially.
beating like Worm Coil Engine.
No. Yeah. Jund
Right?
has a hard time with that card.
So what
Yeah.
happens? What happened? Like what kind of deck do we see where both of these cards are in the same deck?
Oh, there was a standard deck that Patrick Chapin invented called 5-Color Blood. And it was Jace, Bloodbraid Elf, and Cryptic Command. Is that? No, couldn't have been Cryptic Command.
Profane Command?
No, cool, because those all wouldn't have been in standard together. So maybe it was an extended. Maybe it was in the 4-year extended this was. But maybe it was just Jace and Bloodbraid Elf, or maybe the Cryptic Command was, I don't know. Either way, you could definitely play both of these in standard, and because they had at that point, they had Vivid Lands and all that, so...
Yeah,
Pretty good mana. Yeah. That mana base.
Oh wait, no, Vivid Lands were also in Shadowmoor, so it would have been
Anyways,
just the Alara Tri-Lands.
He
You
made
could
he
do
made
that.
this deck. What did it have?
Oh well, that was just Bloodbraid
Had-
Elf and Jace. Yeah.
Okay.
So but then all the good removal, right?
Yeah.
So okay, one thing people have been talking about forever, like you can't unban Bloodbraid Elf, is because Ancestral Vision.
Yeah. I almost bought Visions and just
This
in
is
case.
why that is wrong. How does that Bloodbraid Elf into Ancestral Vision deck beat Tron? How does it beat Storm?
Slow.
It can't run counterspells because they are so bad with Bloodbraid Elf. You have to just run a bunch of Izzet Charms or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
the same
so
reason Sultai been bad because of counter spells and discard.
yeah, and so then the issue is, well, if you have a deck that runs Ancestral Vision, when you draw 2 of them in your opening hand, it's like a double mulligan, right? So now Bloodbraid Elf is also like that against so many matchups because it costs 4 mana. So having both of those in your opening hand, imagine having one or two Bloodbraid Elves and 1 or 2 Ancestrals.
It's like Ancestral Bloodbraid. Bleh.
Yeah. So what do you do, right? If you make it to turn 5, that'll be great. You'll win. If you make it to turn 5, but then again, you only have 4 cards in your hand. So yeah.
You're gonna have a hard time trading resources efficiently if your opponent up until that point.
Yeah, and I think Jace is gonna need some sort of counter spells unless it's paired with black. So yeah, maybe you make a
Sultai. I
a
think
Sultai with red in it just to splash Bloodbraid Elf, but I don't think you need to because Thoughtseize, Tarmogoyf, Liliana, Jace. I've been dreaming about this since before I was born, and it's so that's the first deck I will put together on Moto Wednesday.
some sort of bug deck. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We get Brood right now on there. I got.
It's literally just all the black green cards
Yeah.
and then Jace.
We were working on some bug decks 2 years ago now.
Forever
over
always.
dinner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bug Delver, Bug Control, Bug Mid Range.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I wonder if you can jam a traverse package into that.
maybe.
Oh,
Yeah, and Death Shadow. I mean, you so many options there.
Then if you draw the wrong bullets, you just put them back and
Yeah.
shuffle them away.
Well, and
and
also collective brutality seems way better now because you're going to be having extra cards, so you can. It's a way to gain velocity by using multiple modes. Like, what do I do with these extra cards I don't have enough mana for yet? Extra modes to just dump your hand while you're brainstorming. But also, it's so flexible. Like, it's good in different kinds of matchups.
creature matchups,
you know?
spell-based combat matchups.
And when it's not good, it's the type of card. Well, you shuffle it away, right? So
Before we get too out into the weeds here, how about you tell them about the content we have coming up?
Content we have coming up? Well, we have by the time you're watching this, our fifth and final vintage cube draft will be up and ready for viewing. And we are also going to have a return to our F&M series. We're going to have Chris and I's new deck up from this past Friday as we're recording this. We've got that recorded. We've got a new camera set up that's going to be being used from this coming Friday forward. We got a lot higher quality video now. Hopefully we're not going to have so much glare on the sleeves. We got a filter.
that's what they're looking at right now. Right?
Yeah, that's what you're viewing.
Yeah.
If you're watching this live, you are viewing us right now in 1080p, but we're going to try recording in 4K. I don't know how many MTG content channels are broadcasting stuff, uploading stuff in 4K.
Probably
But
one.
We will be hopefully,
One being us.
as long
Yeah.
as my poor computer can encode the footage, we will see. But we're going to try to make that happen for you guys. So you
For
can-
some 4K, so you guys can watch on your 1080p monitors.
We should win a
Skills
5K on 4K.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
We also, if you're listening to this before this upcoming Friday, which is Friday the 16th of February, we are going to be here at Great Escape Games,
Sacramento, California.
playing some good old Friday Night Magic. And I'm told
All
that
four of us.
all four of us.
Yeah.
For the first time
For the
ever.
first time ever.
Is
And
that true?
I've been no, we've definitely.
But since the podcast, like
yeah.
Not in a long time.
And I've been told that I'm getting a surprise deck.
Surprise decking, yeah.
Yep.
you're gonna get milled.
I don't know.
There's options. We have options.
Yeah, apparently there's a
We
lot
got
of
decked.
options.
Okay,
Top deck.
I'll
But
bring a deck for you. It's colorless.
Ruben.
Oh, that's what we were thinking too.
Ghostfire.
make me play Tron. Oh god.
Rule breaker.
No, I that's in Chica. No, my Tron deck's in Chica.
Yeah, it's going.
No, we had a better colorless deck for him actually. The mulligans really well.
Anyways,
No, that deck does not mulligan very well.
let's move on to our song of the week, where we talk about what card we're excited to jam into our 75. Chris, let's start with you.
Well,
Pick one. Oh wait, that's next week.
That's next week.
so if the change won't really be in effect, but if everyone's going to be changing to mid-range decks and control decks, maybe big mana is the way to go. And my favorite big mana deck of all time is obviously good old Amulet Vigor. Oh yes,
So
That
good.
got
So good.
top 16 at the PT or the was the PT or the GP? The GP.
it definitely wasn't the PT.
It was the GP. The GP.
I definitely would have known about it.
I think it was top 16 at the.
I've been screaming. Yes, told you, it's good.
My deck is viable.
Freaking Wizards thinks that Jason Mind Sculptor and Blood Red Elf are
12.
okay for modern, but Summer Bloom's too powerful.
Well, it's printed in 8th edition, so it doesn't count. So it's not real.
Accurate.
But we get Blood Moon? I'm
That's
okay.
That was printed in Modern Masters.
Oh,
They reprinted Summerbloom? I thought they reprinted Summerbloom in one of the reprint sets.
oh, they did. They did in an M set.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people were like, why though?
Wait, an M set like M15 or something?
Yeah, something.
That card was in standard.
I don't think
In a
it was.
in a future border. The
I'm
post
looking it up.
border.
I'm looking it up
Pulls
now.
off the phone.
No, it feels so
I
wrong.
had-
Is it in Vision?
I had it in Visions. Mine were Visions. And
8th?
8th.
MTG Summer Bloom.
I thought I got a reprint in a master set.
No. Just 9th edition.
We are incorrect. MTG misinformation.
Yeah,
Misinformation.
because Visions is the only black border, aside from a foil, 8th edition or whatever.
9th edition.
Visions, same thing. Visions is the only black border printing of Summer Bloom.
Alright. My bad. Sorry, guys. Sorry to derail that. Zach, what about you?
So
Just cut him off.
No, wait. He was done, right? Big mana, Amulet of Vigor.
Amulet, good. The end. Okay.
So I think you're right. I think big mana is gonna be a good place to be once people are shifting. They want to play their Jace, they want to play their Bloodbraid Elf. Karn and Ulamog are gonna laugh, right? So I would say in response to that, I'm forgetting the name of the counter spell, but one in the blue, 4 or greater. Disdainful Stroke. Put that in your Jace deck.
I love that card.
But for me,
Disdainful strokes for hateful folks.
yeah, I will on Wednesday. That's when the change happens on Moto.
Yeah.
So I'll be putting my Jaces in that deck then.
You can disdainful stroke an opponent's Jace.
That is true. That so yeah, Disdainful Stroke. Buy those promos. That's a card right there.
You know, I was also thinking like Jace's Defeat would be good.
Jace's Defeat. Wow.
Doesn't that just it's what counter
it's
blue spell?
gainsay
Oh, it's
with upside.
With
Yes.
upside if it's Jace.
So what's the upside on it? Is it
Scry
draw
for you?
card or just
I
scry?
think it's Scry.
What's that?
If
that
it
card
drew
of
a card,
Jace
that'd be
where he's
so
like,
great. Yeah.
that's how I feel
Jace's
like.
Defeat?
No, it's another thing.
That one?
No, it's another card with similar art. There is another card with similar art.
So yeah, if
the
it's
one that's blue return an instant or sorcery from a graveyard to your hand, he's making a similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
So
like,
there's a
eyes.
lot of. So you
But
can
that's
just
one of
write
the story cards.
I mean, just like as a one or two of like in a meta where you know you're like guaranteed to run into one, like a 1 or a 2 in your sideboard, like seems fine.
Of what?
Of Jace's Defeat, you get to. Okay, so let me
Why run that over? Because I'm not saying you're wrong, but just why do you run that over?
like negate or something.
Negate
right?
or I already forgot. I can never remember the name of that
Disdainful
card.
Stroke?
Disdainful Stroke. Of all the counter spells, I can't ever remember the name of that one.
See, the thing is, like, why? Okay, so it's standard, right? You played Jace's Defeat. You didn't max out on 4 negates necessarily. You like some split between negates and Jace's Defeats. And why the hell would you ever want to do that? Well, it's because it would counter things like the Scarab God.
And Torrential Gearhulk.
Right.
Counters like any blue
creatures that you didn't want to resolve.
Disdainful Stroke
They
counters
don't
both
play
of
those in Modern.
So in Modern, what blue creatures do we really not want to resolve?
I mean, we
Like
just
Geist
like,
Snapcaster?
Snapcaster Mage,
Snapcaster
actually.
Mage?
That's true,
Yeah.
actually, that's real.
Geist and Snapcaster, those are. I mean, Geist is going to be good
Spellcaller.
against Jace. So Spellcaller, yeah.
But so it's like
I think
how
it's
much
Spellcaller
flexibility
Jace.
are you losing against the non-blue, like non-creature spells versus the blue creature?
I don't know. I guess it really depends. Like, is your matchup really bad against blue dot deck? Yes,
Don't you just
then you
really
probably
want to
just play it.
spell against the blue control decks, though? If,
That doesn't counter Jace.
It doesn't counter Jace.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
but it helps you resolve your counter spell on
I
Jace.
guess.
I feel like you just want Dispel to win the counter war if control, like, blue
Spell
control
Pierce.
mirrors are common.
Spell like
Yeah.
Spell Pierce isn't really played in this standard, is it? Because it was all over the place when it was in
It seems a
standard
little
the
bit of
first
play.
time.
A little bit.
Yeah, it was main deck like 2 and 3 of.
We're so mid-rangey Battleship Magic now that...
Well, that was
Spell Pierce-
Primeval Titan though. That was Valakut and
No, I just mean, like, currently, it's just like...
yeah.
People are sitting around with lands and
The
play.
good old Titan deck.
Ascend is a mechanic.
Right. Yeah.
Play old Titan, go get my Keswick Front and Ink Moth Nexus.
No, it was. I mean, the current like Scapeshift deck was basically a standard deck. Just they would just cast Explore and I don't know, all sorts of rampant growth variants into the turn 4. They would go for that turn 4 Primeval Titan and then just get Valakuts and Mountains after that. And those ones would also then come at you with Guy's Revenge and even like Emrakul over the top.
Guy's Revenge is a card. I
Yeah.
love that card.
Oh yeah, I
Big
hate that
Carnage
card.
Tyrant these days. Big Dino.
Big Dino.
Big Dino is also in our deck.
It
Sideboard.
is. Wow.
It is our sideboard.
Is that better than Guy's Revenge?
It's sweeter.
What does it do?
It is a 7/6.
It's a plated crusher
Oh, okay.
that can't be countered and has trample.
Also,
Okay.
Also hexproof. In case you don't know what Put Crusher does.
Yes, I don't know if Guy's Revenge quite has hexproof. It's like something.
No, it can only be removed by green spells.
It can't
can
be
only
the target
Oh.
of non-green
Yeah.
spells or whatever.
Okay.
So you can pulse it,
Oh, okay.
but that's about it.
But that one's an 8/5.
Yeah.
So
It
so
has
Guy's
haste.
the Death Shadow more.
But it doesn't trample.
Yeah.
Dino Tramples. Fuck yo,
Dino
Lingering Souls.
tramples.
Wait, does Pulse get it? Because it's a green spell, but it's also a block spell.
Criteria met.
No, it just can't be targeted by non-green.
Non-green.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
non-green.
since it's green, it's okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Mark Rosewater is like rolling over in his bed.
He's still picking up his t-shirts for the week.
About the concept of Maelstrom Pulse being considered not green. I guess my salt of the week. My salt of the week. I had to think really long and hard about this, and I'm looking forward to the future. And you know what card is really good against decks with Bloodbraid Elf and Jace the Mind Sculptor?
Glorybringer?
Yeah, that's true.
Accurate.
Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Like, oh, Jace costs 5. All your other spells cost 1 more. Bloodbraid Elf. Oh, you wanna cascade into something? You gotta pay the tax, my friend. Also, it's only got 2 toughness.
You bring the tax, I'll bring the death.
2 toughness. Dahlia has first strike. Kills Bloodbraid dead.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know. Seems decent.
John, you've been stepping back into your roots over here.
I have a
2 weeks in a row.
I have a planes on the back of my car.
Also,
I'm putting it on air right now. I am never fucking registering Aven Mind Sensor in my 75 again. Fuck that card. That card is awful.
Why? What happened? What J did you?
So I didn't have a second Blessed Alliance because they're all getting signed. So I had to fill a slot in Esper Dragons.
See, here's the thing.
You get your card signed and you lose because of it. I'm just saying.
It's true.
So I have found this phenomenon as well, where I've put Aven Mind Sensor in my 75 because I didn't have the card I wanted to play, and it's always been
cursed.
Fucking terrible.
All right, convinced. Card is
but
cursed.
If you want to play Aven Mind Sensor because you actually want to play Aven Mind Sensor, I'm sure it's a perfectly legitimate Magic card.
Yeah.
But as a stand-in, it's terrible and it's
Benchwarmer.
It's
have you tried Shadow of Doubt?
spiteful.
Shadow of Doubt.
Yeah,
is
that is a magic card.
So I brought it in against Tron, green red Tron, perfectly reasonable. Were you watching that game?
No.
Okay. I believe my opponent searched his deck, top 4 or 5 times, hit every single time.
What he wanted to hit?
Yes.
Or just,
yes.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That
First time it was like, what is it? Tower. Oh, Tower. And he just wants Tron lands after that. Oh, Tron land. Oh, Sanctum of Ugin. Like,
Oh, look at Ulamog.
yeah, I was just like, fuck. Like,
Here's how you fix that. Ultimate them with Jace.
I was so tilted. And so Kevin comes over like Curtis style. You know, Curtis always slides up on people. And he's like, you know, that I always said that card should have the creature type Charlatan. Bird Wizard Charlatan. Because it's a lie. It doesn't actually do what it says on the card. And like, I think he said this as we were like after the first time. Like he came up like after the first time it missed. And then I proceeded to like break multiple times afterwards. And I'm just like kind of like look up at him over my shoulder like, why did you have to say anything?
Hilarious.
Yeah, never playing Aven Mind Sensor again. Fuck that card.
See, I always get browned by
Flash,
Aven
though.
Mind Sensor.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I could have played a
Well,
Dandelion
it has
Quest.
Flash and Fly, and it's a 2/1, not a 1/2.
Yeah.
It costs 1 more mana, but
I could have played Nimble Obstructionist and gotten better rate.
That's pretty funny, actually.
it's true.
I always get browned by Aven Mind Sensor.
Play Emulate. It's got
So-
you. The
so
dice gotta
literally-
roll against you sometimes.
I think I mentioned this before, maybe not on cast, but probably the most tilting thing for me playing Amulet is losing games because I have a pact and not a real Titan.
Yeah.
Where I get punished for having a Summoner's Pact and not an actual Titan.
I did that to you once.
So it's like, oh, I'm gonna play this pact, Aven Mind Sensor. Guess we lose now. Or like, oh, play this pact, negate.
Having 8
Why are you playing negate against Amulet? I guess we lose now.
having 8 Titans in your deck is not free.
Whereas like, oh, if it were just a Titan, dead. Oh, opponent's Chalice on 0. Oh look, a pact, not a Titan. Guess we lose. And it's just the worst. Because like they're just as likely to draw the Titan as you are the pact. But you only remember the times you drew the pact and lost, not how you drew the Titan and savagely crushed them, you know, as per usual.
Another good occasion to bring up why is the green pack not called Pact of the Titan? Because it's all
Because they
different
didn't have the
fetches.
future sight.
We move on.
Oh,
jeez.
that was good. You get a high five or to peek the out here.
Actually, clearly you don't know anything about Summoner's Pact because a lot of the times...
Kids Azusa.
Well, I get Zusa, but for some number of weeks, I was getting Burning Tree Emissaries in mono green.
Ramp.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So you just like turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, turn 2, you like burning tree, like you like burning tree, like pack for another burning tree, play your Nykthos, activate your Nykthos, play your Garruk, untap your Nichols in your land, Horrid Queen on turn 2, and your opponent's like,
Nani?
what? Like, what do they do?
Lose.
Correct.
It's like, you got a spreading seas?
Guess I'll just
Nope,
die.
Dead. Like, I'll activate Nykthos, I get like 8 mana to pay for my packs, whatever. Plus my untap them. Oh, I'll just play this like Crater Hoof from my hand on turn 3 and kill you. Oh,
Okay.
It's pretty good.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
so gets more than Titans.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
You should do that on Friday.
So white, right? You're playing white again, Thalia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. Humans has Thalias.
Humans have
Once
Thalias.
my cards come back from getting signed. No.
In like 6 months, maybe.
No, they'll be back in like a week or 2.
I had Cloister gone for like a year.
Yeah, it's because the artist.
That's
has-
because it takes a while
artist
to
has
ship from China.
the artist has cancer.
How long were your
Oh,
Gurmongs
that's
out?
sad.
Oh, not long at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like they were on forever.
The guy like they were gone for like 2-3 weeks. The guy like went to China. Like we mailed him to the guy. The guy went to China. He was like, "Here, sign these
you're not
cards."
just gonna play our deck next Friday?
Oh, you're gonna give it to me?
If I'm playing Advent, I'm not playing any of this.
Yes.
So guys, what is my slot of the week?
Your slot of the week
To be determined?
To be determined.
To be determined.
Should
So it was
Do you want me
going
to just
to
list
be
the deck?
we rally the ancestors?
4 Darksteel
4
Citadel.
box Opal.
for
I just never draw any gas.
I could probably guess 71 of the 75 cards you're playing.
So they're picking a deck for me. Yeah.
The slot
I'll
league
bring
was
it from
going
home.
to be Ember Fist Zubera. But
I'll
since John's getting card signed, that's out the window.
I'll put in my request here for slot of the week is Amulet of Vigor.
Denied.
You know, just like that.
Cordo Calling?
No.
Denied.
Coralhelm Retreat.
Possibly.
How about Lotus Cobra?
I'd be okay with that.
Pending.
I'm thinking. Well, I'm gonna try and put that together. Just
We should
Lotus
just make
Cobra
him
and
play with the
Jason
Highlander
run back the
decks.
dream
Oh.
from standard.
That'd
But
be good.
Fan Highlander, there you go.
Hey, let's get coordinate.
Oh, it does.
Sublime.
Your wish is
I'm
granted.
good.
He wished for the power to cast cards, but not for the deck list to support it.
Chord's sweet in that deck. You'll see.
And I think with that we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you very much for sticking around to the very end. We really appreciate it. If you want to check out more of our content, you can head over to MTGConflux.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube with MTGConflux as the username. It's one word. And if you have any comments, you can go ahead and shoot us a message on one of those platforms. Yeah, again, if thank you for sticking around. It's episode 20, and we are going to keep going. So until next time, later.